Oh, there was a high school that had lots of spirit, but that didn't help them for the football team because they had yet to win a game in many years. And so when the principal saw some cheerleaders sitting in the stands, he asked, "Don't you think you girls should be down there cheering for your team?" And one of them said, "Honestly, I think we need to suit up and go down there and play for our team." I wanted to do a little female empowerment this week. I felt like that was in order after. Oh. Well, last week we talked about gratitude and as a way to open our hearts to the flow of abundance. And gratitude as a practice brings us right here, right now, to the present moment where the fullness of life is experienced and has us focus on the abundance that life is. It shines the light on the good in our life versus all the negativity and all the drama. And it raises us to a new level of seeing and experiencing life. So we looked at doing an assignment this week, and I just wanted to check in with you to see how you're doing. We talked about just paying attention to the wonder that's all around us, just at a heightened level. And we talked about, as a nightly practice, to right before you lay your head down on the pillow, or maybe your head's already on the pillow, that right before you go to sleep, you bring to your heart and mind 5 things you're grateful for. And if you're sharing your bed with someone, that you might share that together. And maybe you start that as a ritual every night. And then we also talked about gratitude signs, that you pick a sign in your life that will, kind of like, when you're in meditation, when you hear the bell, it reminds you, brings you to the present moment. This is a gratitude sign. So it could be a red light. It can be stop traffic. We have a lot of opportunities for that in this area. A child's laughter, the ring of a cell phone, or even an obvious note on your refrigerator or bathroom mirror, to remind you to, in that moment, pause and be grateful. How you doing? Okay, great. All right. Okay, so one of the main points is to just stay present. To stay present and in the moment. Because folks, I think I shared this last week, I don't know of a better mood booster. I've needed a mood booster in the last week or so. And what's helped me to shift and to just be present is gratitude, to focus on what's working in my life. So I just share that because it feels important that we hone our tools in our toolbox right now to bring us to present moment awareness and what's working, the joy in our life. And so we also reflected on the people in our lives that give us so much, who have supported us in situations in our lives that have been challenging, and the way they give of their time and their attention and their love and their compassion and their joy. So today my question for you is, how easy is it for you to receive that kind of support? Is it easy for you to let people in, to support you, to love you, to see you, to lift you up and say, "You go. You're amazing. You're beautiful. You're hot." Whatever works. See, I just feel like, we've been talking about prosperity, and in order for us to fully let in the infinite abundance that's everywhere present, because we talked about that, and let me re-presence that there's a little R reality that we're seeing, out in the world that's full of drama. It's also got a lot of joy. But there's a big R reality that's the truth of everything, that we call God, if you want to call it God. We call it infinite life, wholeness, infinite abundance. It's everywhere present. It is the truth, and it's what you are. And so, of course, gratitude as a practice tunes us into that. But I tell you, in order for us to fully allow ourselves to experience the infinite abundance that's all around us, that's available to us, we have to let it in. We have to become a wide receiver. And so, of course, I had to go on the internet and look at what a wide receiver is on a football team. Because I felt an analogy coming, so I like to watch it sometimes, but I don't know a lot of the rules. But anyway, so okay, bear with me. So the wide receiver, and many of you probably know this, and they're going, let me see if she gets this right, is an offensive position in football that functions as the pass-catching specialist, right? Okay, so wide receivers are among the fastest and most agile players. You see these big 300 guys. It just amazes me. The wide receiver's principal role is to catch passes from the quarterback. Okay? I'm hearing a okay. Okay. On passing plays, the receiver attempts to avoid, outmaneuver, or simply outrun the people who are trying to tackle him. Okay? Once a pass is thrown in his direction, the receiver's goal is to first catch the ball. That'd be a good thing. Hold on to it, and then take off for the touchdown. All right, okay. Did I do okay? Okay, great. All right. Thank the Lord for the internet. So I think, okay. So the thing is, we too are capable of being wide receiving pass catchers. Bring that to your mind's eye. Yeah, we're in the Unity of Gaithersburg team, we're catching. Okay. Your infinite wisdom, the infinite abundance that is the universe and beyond, is constantly throwing you passes. Rochelle, take this. Sharon, take this. Yeah, Mike, this. So are you catching it? And are you running with it? Yeah, you're constantly being thrown opportunities to let in beauty and joy and goodness and an awareness of wholeness. But how open are you to catching it, really hearing it, appreciating it, accepting it, receiving it? How often maybe do you say no when the universe is serving you up a big old dose of good? Yeah. So how many times have you said no to your good because you allowed your limiting beliefs and feelings to tackle your yes, and you haven't outrun them? I'm working this analogy, aren't I? Okay. And I was like, have I told them this story? But if I've told you, bear with me, I'm going to tell you again. Because this one just really resonates for me. I had a relative, she passed, constant worrier. Always worried about everybody, worried about, who's seeing who and finances and whatever there was to worry about, that she was going to worry about it. And it was Christmas, and I really wanted to give her a nice gift, and I was excited because I heard that what she wanted was a nice robe. And I thought, oh, good. Just to know what she wanted was thrilling enough. And then I thought, well, and no surprises. That surprises didn't really work that well. So I knew I could just go to her and say, what kind of robe do you want? I'm really excited to buy you this robe for Christmas. She refused to tell me what she wanted. She said she didn't want me to spend money on her. She worried that it would be too expensive. She insisted that she would just use the one she had and it would be just fine. And even when I told her that I wanted to get it for her, all she could say was, no, I don't want you to spend the money. And I can remember walking away from this interaction just feeling like, really? It felt depleting. I felt disappointed that I wasn't able to give to this relative that I love something that I knew that if she just allowed herself to receive it, she'd be all cozy. If she wanted the zip-up kind, the wraparound kind, the one with the hood, whatever she wanted, I was going to get her that and maybe some fluffy slippers to match. But no, she would have none of it. So it just really had me look at what keeps us from saying yes to our good. I think, we feel like whoever's going to give to us might feel depleted, might be actually depleted. We can feel like we don't deserve it or feel even guilty or feel selfish or greedy if we accept something, or maybe we're afraid that whatever we get comes with strings. I don't know what it is, but folks, I just would love for us to check in with our letting in threshold. What is it for you? Do you let in some and maybe not a lot, or what is it? Because when we give from our hearts of love, there is no private good. Do you know what I mean? It can't just be good. When I give to you, from love, it can't just be about me. You're not depleting me. We talked about that earlier in our prosperity series about inner-centered giving. When we give from that place, from the wellspring of all sufficiency, there's never a depletion. There can't be. There's always way more than enough. So those of us who are wide receivers outmaneuver and outrun limiting thoughts and beliefs through denying the power we've given them. Wide receivers know that the nature of life is abundance, and they get joy in the giving and in the receiving. Jesus said, seek first the kingdom of God and God's righteousness, and all these things will be given to you. That means seek first the kingdom of infinite possibilities. Seek it. And righteousness is the right useness of it. Yeah, and all will be given to you as you allow yourself to give. And I reflect back on that story with my relative, and what I decided as a result of that story was that, by golly, I'm going to start looking for the yeses. I'm going to look for the yeses who want to receive my good. Okay? Anybody want to join me? Yes. Let's look for the yeses. And let's open ourselves up. Last week when the kids were out playing with my gym, my goddaughter was over there, and I saw her go up to a kid, and she wanted them to play with her and to create something. And so she goes over here and she asks, and this one child was like, no, I'm doing this. And she's like, okay. And so she goes over here and she goes, well, you want to play? No, okay. And then she runs over here and it's like, yeah. She allowed herself just to continue to receive. She didn't go like, oh, they didn't want to play with me. She kept looking for the yeses. So I just invite you this week to notice how often maybe you say no when the universe is passing you some good, okay? Pay attention. How expansively do you say yes? How much do you limit your good? And can you see the good when it's right in front of you? Let's look for the good right now, folks. I think it's really important for us to look for the good right now. So let's pay attention to our level of receiving and look at what might be holding us back, what's underneath that, and do that work. And so right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show a video that shares our ability to receive love from our beloved pets. This past week, it was the feast of St. Francis of Assisi. And our patron saint, St. Francis, loved animals. And so we asked you to send us your pictures of your beloved pets. And so if you would just open your hearts to seeing this not very long video, but it sure shows how we allow love in when we say yes.
When you're down and troubled and you need a helping hand and nothing's going right. Close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night. You just call up my name I'll come running, oh yeah, babe, to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you got to do is call, and I'll be there, yeah, yeah, yeah. You've got a friend.
Look at that face.
If the sky above you should turn dark and full of clouds, and that old north wind should begin to blow, keep your head together
That's my dad.
and call my name out loud now.
Other cat.
Soon I'll be knocking upon your door. You just call up my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running. Oh yes, I will see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, yeah. All you got to do is call, and I'll be there, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, ain't it good to know that you've got a friend? People can be so cold, they'll hurt you and desert you. Well, they'll take your soul if you let them. Oh, yeah, don't you let them. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again.
Let's affirm together. I expand my ability to receive as I allow my unlimited good to flow. I am a wide receiver. Amen.